Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 15th, so halfway through Ferragosto here in Italy, um, and the beginning of the dog days. Go figure. Quite an event and a big bounce back. Who knew? Yeah. Well, it was a decent pop coming off that magenta that we had already seen rising, and the significant dip that we had saw in short interest after we came down and hit that 61% mark. So dipped a little bit, popped right back up. Of course, you can see right now in pre-market, giving it all back up at the same time. Not a shock, but that did improve things for at least check out the S&P here, and we are right at the confluence of all of our lines. Cyan -4, green the -4 as well. Uh, Steel is +4. It's just a confluence there, but you're seeing the turnaround from a DOC standpoint, and that puts a lot of pressure on the bull side of the argument because they're going to have to step up here to kind of push things through. The fact that we're already getting towards the 7.5 for the steel means there'll be a whole lot of juice by the time it gets there, but if there's enough buildup from DOC red and also midterm buyers in green are able to keep above the short level, it would be enough to hold it up. We don't see that that's going to take place at this particular point, but that would be your bull case. Kind of already used up extreme because anything else is just going to start moving towards extremes in the form of the red, which would be negative aspects. So still doing the little bit of basing inside that softness, but you've got magenta still over yellow, even though it's in a pretty precarious place. What we're not seeing is the spike of white. If we were seeing that, we would really expect an implosion, but not particularly. And the question was whether or not that was the S&P was going to hold up the Nasdaq, and it certainly did. And we're getting a little bit less faith in the Nasdaq at this particular stage. Does it move the needle very far? No. Still in a negative mode from that standpoint, but overall it was a little bit of relief from the doom and gloom. It generates some short covering is what it does, but that just gives them incentive to reset. Interestingly enough, though, you look at the DOC and you have orange still caught between cyan and red, which we don't see on the S&P. The fact that it's falling, a little bit more bullish, but if it turns up about there, I would think the Nasdaq's in for another little bit of a sell-off. Treasuries, right in line finally. Took them a while to get their act together, but yes, at these levels, indication Fed is not going to do anything and rates are going to stay elevated for some period. Oil, I'm just sort of filling back in here with staying, well into that 80 range, and that's definitely a danger zone as far as inflation goes. And that caused a little bit of sorrow in the euro. Um, yeah, that's a real shock, isn't it? Given that I've been talking about how overvalued the euro is anyway, but it's still going to bounce back and forth, and all it's done is come back to the original breakout move. No huge shocker there. The interesting one, though, is gold. This seems a little strange when you know that inflation pressures, things like that, are going to start building. To see paper market and gold declining, and still no relief in sight from that. So, a little strange given that we know another set of inflation cycle is about to start. But that wouldn't be the first time that it's been held in place to prevent it from looking like there is going to be, a bad inflationary storm. And also, we haven't seen anything from Bitcoin or from ETH. It's been dead in the water. So that excitement of crypto rotation, it's just this legal uncertainty. Nobody knows which way is up, and until there's some clarity, it just creates a lot of mumbo jumbo. So we had the buy configuration came in, and literally NBI white spike, but magenta was still leading. And as soon as that started to break down, we had some softness and it did a little spike just to create some short cover, and boom, the floor has just dropped out. So all those positive extremes that we can see from right there filled back, and the other one that was right here also filled. So pretty congruent from that standpoint. And again, more of that shake and bake, just throw everyone off, keep them off tilter. And this is what we're looking at from the intraday action. Started off weak, build up, continued that build up, made everything look real sweet and rosy because everything was good. And then, yeah, the floor just fell out. So that's where futures are at this particular stage. As always, though, continue to update you with anything relevant. Trade well. Talk to you later.